Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome. You're on the swivel at the Sportsbar. Welcome aboard. This is episode 42, season one of my sports show. And, of course, football season, even after two games, is in full swing. So we're going to go through some football, some other sports, and some different banter. And we're going to have some fun with it. So I have my own little take on what's going on out there. And, you're welcome to leave comments in the chat and stuff or subscribe to the channel. But let's go ahead and get started. And a couple of fellas may come up, like they do once in a while. If not, we're going to go solo. Anyway, I have this copyright disclaimer because I use a lot of videos as content in this thing. So I want to make sure that I give everybody their due credit. Any videos that I use, I'm going to put the full links in the description and from that standpoint. And I got somebody in there. Hello, Catelia. How you doing? Hey, I am happy to be your favorite boomer. Anyway, so here we go. So what we're going to talk about first is some football. The season is 2 games into the season, and we already have a whole bunch of upsets. All right, so I'm going to go take them one by one. Basically, I watch football. I used to go to sports bars all the time, but now that they've had the Red Zone channel, and I can stay home and have a few beers and maybe some wings and stuff like that, not have to worry about drunk driving or anything, and just chill out and watch the Red Zone channel. So we have some upsets. I think a lot of people say there's a lot of games in the season, but in football, every game counts. Every game counts big time, whether it's for positioning in the playoffs or, tiebreakers, the whole 9 yards. So it counts. So when the Raiders beat the Ravens are starting out 0-2. Now, is it over for them? No. But once you start losing these games, that's really big because when it comes down to the wire, your record is going to matter. And if you have tiebreakers and you lose home field advantage, those kind of things, they got to pick their game up, And I said game one, when Lamar Jackson missed that wide open pass to at least tie the game, didn't guarantee that they would have beat Kansas City. That's the kind of pass that he needs to make if he wants to graduate from just being, I guess a good quarterback to a great one. You got to make those passes. So then they come back and they lose to the Raiders, and that's not good. All right, so the Buccaneers beat the Lions. Well, the Lions are a pretty good team this year. They're expected to go far in the playoffs. The Buccaneers are the ones surprising. Baker Mayfield has found, I think he's Baker Mayfield, right? They are playing pretty well. So we'll see how that goes. The Saints just drubbed the Cowboys. The Cowboys look horrible. And the Saints, man, you know what? I don't know why I didn't pick Alvin Kamara in my fantasy league. I didn't know he was going to have a breakout. I think he's going to have a breakout season. I had a chance to get him, and I didn't pick him. And I should have. I'd probably be 2-0 in both of my leagues. The Falcons beat the Eagles, of course, and then the Vikings beat the 49ers. So these kind of losses make things interesting because even though it's early, it's good to see nobody's running away with things, not just yet. So we know what the standings are. So let's just keep going. All right. Tua Tagovailoa. He's on IR. He's supposed to miss the next 4 games. I think he should retire. Personally, I think as a young man, he's already made millions of dollars. If he leaves on an injury, if he leaves based on this injury, he'll get like a $45 million buyout or something like that. And I think he should really consider just saying, okay, this is my 3rd concussion. He's probably had more than that, by the way. They don't count all the concussions that he's had. But I think he should just say, I want to be a football player. I gave it a shot. I'm a pretty decent player, but now I got this money and my health got to be more important. They cannot put him back on the field. So he's out for the next 4 games at least. But I think he should really, really consider, as a young man, just go find yourself start a business, go behind a broadcast booth. You know, he's a smart enough guy. He can speak well. Maybe do a little bit of that to stay close to a football coach. Maybe lament a little bit that, you know, he couldn't have a great career, but your health has to come first. Now, it's easy for me to say because I know how these guys are dedicated to a sport, but I think almost everybody, to a man and a woman, is saying, "Hey, Tua, you know what? It's probably best that you just leave football behind as a player. You know, you could love the game, you could stay close to it, but you know what? Don't even do it." The Steelers beat the Falcons. Okay, let me see. You got the Steelers beat the Falcons. Yeah. And the Steelers beat the Jets. Well, you know, the Steelers are okay. You know, so but for you, are they going to give the ball back to Justin Fields, or is Russell Wilson ready to play? That's going to be the interesting thing when we talk about the Steelers getting back on the field. If they can give another week to Russell to get a little bit better, I think they're going to do it. I didn't research it, so I don't know who's starting the third game. You know, I have a feeling it's going to be Justin Fields if Wilson is not 100%. And so I didn't check that out. I'll probably check that out after this. Now you got me thinking about. All right. So that's a good one there. So what is next? All right. Bryce Young. Man, this guy's getting a lot of they just think he's a bust. That's what they think about Bryce Young. They think he's a bust. That's too bad. That is too bad. This guy was a number 1 draft choice last year, the first pick, and it ain't going too well for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news. Bryce Young, the first round pick of last season, not even the first, the number 1 overall pick of last season, has been benched for Andy Dalton. I wanted to break down some film and kind of decipher, is it Bryce Young? Is it the team, the pieces around him, or is Andy Dalton the better quarterback? We're going to look at the film, but just so you guys know I'm not trolling, Adam Schefter tweets out, Panthers are benching former number 1 overall pick Bryce Young for Andy Dalton. He's their new quarterback, and then you go back and look at the trade, DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, Tyreek Stevenson, Caleb Williams, and a second rounder for Bryce Young. This does not look good. But with that being said, let's just kind of deep dive into the film. First thing we notice about this play, I'm sorry I'm getting right into it. It's just,
I mean, did you see how many people that Carolina gave up to get Bryce Young? I mean, it seems like one of the worst deals since Herschel Walker got traded to Minnesota for all of those players that made the Cowboys a championship team. This reminds me of that. It's incredible they gave so much for Bryce Young, including Caleb Williams. I mean, it's just incredible. Somehow he got mixed up in that whole deal as well.
I'm a little bit kind of surprised here. We're going to have 2 digs over the middle. Who in their right mind draws up a play like this? I don't really know. Why would you have...
Okay. Anyway, I stopped.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some versus the Ravens. If this was, you look here, bring these guys this way, and then throw the hitch at the bottom of your screen, which is wide open, I love it. But what are we thinking here? Watch number 7 here at the bottom of your screen. I am kind of in the way, so I'll take myself off here. Boom. If you throw this ball to the outside shoulder of the running back Chuba, he can turn up the field and maybe go. What are we seeing here? A linebacker right in front, and then this man. I mean, you couldn't even put this on the money for it to be either a hospital ball where Deontay Johnson gets absolutely demoralized, or to pick. What are we looking at there? There's no pressure. The pocket looks unbelievable here. I think you have a hitch here. You lean to the outside.
Well, this guy's going through all the bad plays that Bryce Young did, And yeah, he's looking pretty bad over the last 2 years. So if I was Carolina, I'd be kind of worried on what kind of pick did I make. All right, so that's pretty much all I had for football. That's some of the betting odds. Let's go to NBA. Not much in the NBA going on, but there's a few things we could talk about. Let me see, just that one thing. The NBA has a new CBA, right? So we're going to play a little bit about how the CBA, the agreement that they have with the NBA between the players, collective bargaining agreement.
Building your online business?
Oh, God, here we go. Something for me to edit out.
Go to Wix.com and set up your store.
All right, welcome back to the show today. We're talking about the NBA CBA. CBA stands for Collective Bargaining Agreement. CBAs exist anywhere where there are laborers and employers. It's just a list of demands from a group of employees that are a part of a certain skill set or field for their employer. The NBA CBA is between the NBPA, the National Basketball Players Association, and the NBA, or more specifically, the NBA team owners. So let's get into what the NBA players are entitled to. They're entitled to 50% of the BRI. Well, what's the BRI? BRI stands for basketball-related income. Basically, this covers any sort of revenue that's even tangentially related to the NBA. We're talking ticket sales, TV deals, merchandise, and even the fines that the players, the coaches, and the owners receive, which is kind of funny to think that a penalty or a fine that you pay ultimately results in revenue for your business. So the first new addition to the CBA is that the NBA's licensing will now count toward the BRI. That's $160 million in projected revenue. I assume this means the actual licensing of the name NBA and the logo. Maybe the owners are selling t-shirts with the NBA logo on it and making $160 million a year. I don't really know, and honestly, I don't really care. But what I do care about is that it's going to ultimately raise the salary cap $2 million a year. Nice job, CJ McCollum. McCollum is the president of the Players Association. Even though $2 million is really just a minimum contract for a player for 1 year, it's still a win for the player. So does this mean if the BRI goes up, the salary cap goes up? Yes, it does. The salary cap is actually how the players and the owners split the money. The salary cap is around 43% of the BRI. Wait a minute, I thought they were splitting this thing 50-50. What's this 43% nonsense? Well, that factors in that basically every NBA team owner goes over the salary cap. So if you really think about it, the owners are actually spending significantly more than 50%. In some cases, we're talking like 65%. I mean, the Warriors are $90 million over the cap, which makes you think that there probably are some revenue streams that aren't a part of the BRI. Otherwise, owning a basketball team might not even be profitable when you look at the bottom line. So in theory, the owners could all come together and say, hey, let's not go over the salary cap. In fact, let's not even come close to going over the salary cap. That way we get to keep most of the basketball income. The players can get they can't do that because according to the CBA, the teams have to spend 90% of the salary cap. If you want to own an NBA team, you can't be cheap. Also, most billionaires buy an NBA team as a vanity project. It's a way to swing their financial. They're going to spend money. This brings us to the next new part of the CBA, cap smoothing. Even if you weren't an NBA fan in 2016, I'm sure you've heard of the great cap spike. Thanks to a new TV deal that was worth a lot of money, the basketball-related income shot up a lot, meaning that the salary cap shot up a lot, meaning that teams had to fill up that 90% at least of the salary cap, meaning the free agents that year were in for a lot of money. Chandler Parsons, Timothy Mozgov, Luol Deng, all these guys signed giant contracts. I mean, it was only 7 years ago, and some of you guys probably haven't even heard some of those names. Believe it or not, Mike Conley was actually the highest paid player in the NBA for a while. Everyone loves Mike Conley, though.
Yeah, so this guy goes through a lot of that deal. So I'm going to put this link into the description. But it's not that much. It's really, if you really want to get into the details of the CBA, I think it's suffice to know that they have a new one. And I think they have an option to opt out after 6 years. They probably will, because if basketball is going to still be interesting, the CBA, the ceiling is always going to go up. Actually, a couple of good things. One, they're going to keep the in-game tournament, the in-season tournament. They're going to do that again. I think they're going to make that permanent. So there's going to be a championship within the season. And the championship playoffs are going to be on a neutral court. They didn't get rid of the one and done, right? So they kept the restriction on age of the American-born players who play in American colleges. They still got to wait till 19 before they can get drafted. So they didn't get rid of that. So a couple other things in that nature. I mean, they had a little bit more percentage on what they could pay as Supermax. And one of the things they did, if you want to be an MVP, or if you want any of the honors in basketball, you have to play a minimum of 65 games in a season. All right. So they made sure they codified that. So, when people are trying to, do that so-called load management, that they can't just willy-nilly just take half the season off and expect to get accolades and stuff like that. So Oh man, golly, I didn't even see that. I'm over here muted. I don't even know how I got muted like that. I feel like a fool. Thank you. I see you. I see. It happens. Anyway, I hope you guys got a chance to at least see the video. I know y'all could hear that part. So, and who cares what I say? Who cares what I say? So this one is going to be messed up. But thank you, Catalea. I mean, I caught the mute. Oh man, that's crazy. Something told me to check what the hell's going on here. Anyway, all right. So here's another thing with Caitlin Clark that's, I guess you could call one of the negatives. You know, this one is about her.
Introducing KT Health Activate Warming Magnesium 2. Your ultimate warm-up
Might get some real editing.
Well, I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the 3 and then I went and hit the backboard.
So to make a long story short, we're going to play some more of this. She's one technical away from being suspended. Now, I don't know whether that goes into the playoffs because they only have one game left. And all the players are trying to make sure that she didn't get that one technical so they could play this last game. They're 20-19, and they're looking to go, of course, 2 games over 500 for the playoffs. And so they're better than 500. And the Fever has been, negative for the last 8 years. So this is all about her getting technicals.
Disrespectful to the game of basketball. So I don't know. It reminded me of the technical that I got in college where I said, damn it, where it's like a personal frustration. Had nothing to do with my team, had nothing to do with the reffing, had nothing to do with the other team. It was just because I'm a competitor. And I felt like I should have been making more shots.
Caitlin Clark just hammered the WNBA, and it's no surprise why. She's on the verge of suspension, and do you know why? Because she did this. Yeah, just tossing the ball. Seriously, isn't that ridiculous? After breaking records left and right, dominating the court in ways no one's seen before, the league seems more interested in handing out technical fouls than acknowledging her greatness. The refs,
Yeah, so that's all it is. The whole rest of that whole thing is about her and the technical fouls. So she didn't get one. She got one more game, and then she goes into the playoffs. They're going to probably try to protect her the best way they can so she doesn't get another technical. And I think the count restarts once the playoff starts, where you get maybe 2 technicals before you lose a game. So there you have it. So she's got some fire that gets her technicals, but she's not quite Draymond Green. So, all right. So here's the standings, and you can see the Indiana Fever is 20-19. They got 1 game left, and once they get into playoffs, they'll be. I don't think they're going to change positions. So number 7 is going to play number 3, the Connecticut Sun. I think it's the best out of 5 in the first round. So. I think I can't imagine. I mean, all of those games, if they go 5, they're going to all be sold out. I can tell you that. So we'll see. I'll probably be watching some WNBA playoff for the first time in ever, I guess. So they got a new fan. I mean, I'm not a paying fan, but I'm a new fan. How about that? The Big 3 is out of season. Baseball's coming. They got like 10 games left. So let's talk about Ohtani. He's chasing 50 home runs and 50 steals. Now he's been. I think he had surgery on his pitching arm. So instead of him sitting out, he said, "Let me just play the field. I can't pitch this year, so let me just play baseball." And this is what he's doing. So he's pitching, and he's 48 for 48 home runs. 48 steals, and he's looking for 50-50.
Think that cute puppy in the pet shop window came from a responsible breeder?
I don't know. Goddamn people with these.
Unsafe.
Well, the Marlins have 4 runs on 7 hits in this game, but by far the loudest cheer of the night is when he's introduced.
He's a big dude, too, man. He's a big dude.
Struck out looking his first time. Highlight of Darren McCacken's young career, you figure.
Sure, he's got another chance right here.
Yeah.
Might be getting a highlight of his own.
Yeah, there's a little information in that first inning. Fields 2. It's amazing to have a guy go 4 games without a home run and have it feel like it's been an eternity. But the rate that he typically runs at does feel like he's due for one. On this 1-1 pitch, Ohtani lifts the front. Deep right field. Into the second inning. It's this 48. Here's for 50-50.
Beware of hitters taking fastballs when they're fast. And then he tries to throw the sweeper by him, and it looks like Shohei was like, "Oh, batting practice."
Yeah, he's looking at it. He's looking at it.
It took a moment to enjoy.
Yeah, he's looking at it. That's the way you're supposed to look at it. You're supposed to look at it. You know, take a little small trot around the bases. Let the other team feel your little, disdain for them while you hit that ball out of the park. That's the way it's supposed to be, and make some excitement in baseball. Anyway, so listen, this guy is a throwback, right? Because the fact that he couldn't pitch, but he said, "Hey, listen, let me play. Let me play every game," and this is what he's doing. So I would imagine next year his pitching arm will be back. He'll be ready to pitch again. But he'll still get you 30 home runs, even as a pitcher. So the guy is unbelievable. All right, so what do we have next? Other sports banter. This is going to be a short show anyway. So what are we talking about? Well, Shannon Sharp goes off on Kyler Murray. All right, Shannon Sharp had something to say about Kyler Murray talking about not throwing the ball to his new receiver. And let's just hear, Mr. Porn Star talk.
Hey guys, it's your favorite Unc here. Go ahead and click that subscribe button below so you don't miss a single episode of Nightcap. That button right here. Come for the sports, stay for the stories. Kyler Murray said it's not his job to be targeting rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison.
With me? Did he really say that? Maybe. Do you think they misquoted it?
No, as a quarterback, obviously you're going through your reads. Sometimes the ball goes to him, but that's not my job. I have a sense and a feel for guys when they don't get the ball and when they're getting the ball.
Hey, man, hold on now. This if I'm Kyler Murray, I know you're gonna see this. When you come out the huddle, what number Marvin Harrison Jr. wear?
18, didn't it?
Kyler Murray, when you come out the huddle and you're making your points with the line, point out the mic, check the coverage. Whatever side 18 go to, look at the DB. If it's one-on-one, throw it to him. Don't worry about no read. He is the read. He's the read. What you talking about?
It's stuff like this.
Ocho is the receiver, man. He's saying, listen, man, you got yourself a top flight receiver. Don't give me this shit that is not your job to get him the ball. He's your number one pick. Get him the ball. Now, this was based on the first game of the season. Now, Marvin Harrison is my fantasy. He's on my fantasy team, and they didn't hardly throw him the ball, right? And so, luckily, I won this week. So, me stupidly got mad. I put him on the bench for a second because I thought if they were trying to get him warmed up, they wouldn't throw. He had a big game the second game because people told Tyler Murray, just throw him the damn ball. Just throw him the ball. He had a great game. So of course I put him back in the starting lineup because if they're gonna throw him the ball like that, I'm gonna need the points.
My job.
That is your job. Why are you looking for a go ball, Kyler?
Oh, what? You know what it is? That's over fucking coaching. That's what it is. That's over coaching. That's why he said that answer. They're over coaching and forcing him to go through his reads. When you got a special individual that was the fourth pick for a goddamn reason.
You do that to a rookie. Ain't nobody overcoaching Kyler. Kyler on some bull jive. Kyler been on some bull jive. But I ain't going to go there. This is not the time. This is about him not.
Right, you try to win game.
Rookie quarterback. You coach him. This man has been to the Pro Bowl. And this man, wasn't he rookie of the year? Wasn't he rookie of the year?
I think so.
I think so. Talk about, that's not your job. So tell me what your job is. I'd like to know. So you mean to tell me the guy's rookie of the year, the guy's a Pro Bowl, he's been to the Pro Bowl, he's taken the team to the playoffs, but that's not his job.
Okay, so we got it. It's your job, damn it, to get your best receiver the ball. So stop saying stupid shit. All right. So what else do we got going? I mean, this up. Wait a minute. Did I miss something? No, I didn't. All right. Adrian Wojnarowski. He's retiring from Egypt. Listen, this guy comes in and he does some specialty stuff for ESPN and sports, right? They'll come on and just his analysis and things of that nature. And I had no idea he was making $7 to $8 million a year. He's making $7 to $8 million a year. His new contract is almost worth, over the life of the contract is almost worth over $100 million. And I don't know what he does behind the scenes. I know he does a lot of analysis, a lot of traveling and stuff, but he's resigning. He's, going to take the money and run. But, so he got this contract in 2022. Now, anybody who's into the sports world, they heard about it. Woj, they call him Woj. I had no idea he was making that much money. I mean, they're just throwing money at people at ESPN, man. Shoot. Wow. It's incredible. But you know what? Can't hate on the brother. That's good. So he says, you know what? Let me go ahead. He's going to go do something a lot less stressful. He's going to his alma mater. He's going to be working for them. And that's what he's going to do. Take his money and run. If he's a family man, he's going to have more time with his family, those kind of things. All right. Adrian Peterson, a great running back, goes broke. Now, they say after 5 years, most athletes after 5 years lose all their money. So let's hear what they got to say.
I think that cute puppy in the pet shop window came from a response.
I gotta edit out all these stupid
unsafe conditions.
His assets to pay for it. According to the USA Today, a Houston judge has ordered AP to surrender property to satisfy the debt. Constables have been ordered to seize assets from his home. A court-appointed receiver has accused Peterson of playing a shell game in order to avoid payment. Ocho, man, AP. Bro,
hold on for a second. Let me just see what's going on here. I can't believe he's doing all that. Yeah. Ocho, I mean, these guys are just killing me with this stuff, man. Well, let me start it back up again.
I think that cute puppy in the pet shop window came from a responsible breeder. Think again. Unsafe condition.
His assets to pay for it. Or who takes out a loan to throw themselves a birthday party unless you're what? Trying to impress the party goers.
I don't know. That's crazy, man. 100. Damn, man.
Ocho,
listen to this.
Ocho, you throw a birthday party and you bring in, what do you play? 300 guests?
What?
You bring 300 guests. I don't know 300 people. If I'm 56, I don't know 300 people. And I still don't know enough of people to fly their ass to a mile. Man, you think I know 300 buckets, 300 burns? Hell no.
That's messed up, man.
He flew in 320 people. Ocho, check this out, Ocho.
Yeah.
But guess how he flew him?
Yeah, Ocho is real smart with his money.
First class.
Oh.
First class. He's
Is
first class.
Anyway, can you just file bankruptcy?
No. You can't get out of that easy.
Hey,
You can't get out of it that easy. You can't just file bankruptcy and just think they're gonna let you out of it. Yeah, Ocho is really, really very good with his money. And he's always, I think he prides himself on that. Whatever money he made in the NFL, the last thing he wanted to do was go broke. So he was good. But I tell you what, these guys, it's really a shame to see what happened to Adrian Peterson. He's, my goodness. All right, so there's another story that I just pick up these little tidbits as I come to the end of the show. Now, after all the hoopla and all the shit that we heard across the nation about changing the Redskins' name, there's a fight to change it back. I mean, come on. And, of course, it ain't going nowhere, but excuse me. But isn't it incredible? I got all these scam commercials. They're doing this to me on purpose.
Hello, everybody. Welcome on in on this Tuesday.
Charlie.
Sometimes we talk about things on the show that are happening right in that very moment. Sometimes we decide to focus on things that are still happening after going on for a very long time. And that latter is what we're going to be focusing on today. I still have a tendency to want to call them the Redskins just because I went to college in Washington, D.C. They were always in Washington, D.C. I was in at that point, Redskins locker room all the time. I was at their games. I was at their practices. So for me, Redskins just fits. And that is the same for a lot of people. This whole saga surrounding the name of this one NFL franchise has been ongoing for legitimately decades. Ever since they took the name Redskins originally, which, again, decades and decades ago. So this is something we've been talking about for a while, and we are still continuing to talk about it. I'm not sure it will ever end, but we keep going in different directions. So obviously the name Redskins was pushed out after years of there being tons of criticism, protests over the name, especially come the year 2020 from the George Soros-funded cancel culture group, National Congress of American Indians, which, when you think about the name, National Congress of American Indians, you would think that, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a cancel culture name, but, that's how a lot of these cancel culture groups are disguised. Anyways, ultimately, the team, after all of this pressure, all of this criticism, they decided to abandon the name Redskins in 2020. And it was at that point, they had to make a quick pivot. What do we name our team? I mean, you've got literally minutes, right? You take one name out, what are you going to name the other? So they decided to go with something very simple.
Yeah, the football team. Listen, so the whole long story short, the family, there's a family that wants to fight to get the name back, which is never going to happen. It's not going to happen. Then they wanted to save the logo because that logo is a logo of an actual chief, okay? And of course, and it's a popular logo, and they wanted to see somehow if they can get that logo back in. That's not going to happen. So she goes through this kind of spiel, but it turns out that when they polled American Indians, Native Americans, that almost 90% of them had no problem with the team. And that this was happening in real time. The vast majority of Native Americans had no issue with calling the Washington Redskins Redskins and honoring the logo of an actual chief. That's what the family was mad when they removed the logo because they took pride in them using him as an honorary symbol. And so maybe that was a little bit of why the owner, Snyder, who nobody really likes, was so hard pressed not to change the name. But I don't want to make him sound altruistic because he's really not. But he had his own problems. But that was the deal. I think that was really the deal with the Redskins. So it's still, people are still talking about the damn name. Okay. So we're going to have to get that together. So it's not going to come back. I just thought that a little tidbit, people are talking about it. And let's see what I have next. Oh, okay. Let me put a little spotlight on my girl, Molly Curran, right? Because she's been a mainstay at First Take. And, of course, besides marrying Jalen Rose at one time, there's all the rumors swirling her being there with my man Stephen A. for such a long time. I wanted to know, well, a little bit more about her background. So here we go. It's a short little clip. Yeah, a lot of people like their original name. I did too. I didn't have no issue with it. I mean, why would I? So why should anybody? But here we go.
With the personal preference program, you can choose and pay for the home care services you want. Hiring a caregiver.
Hillerman, among other regular analysts. While Molly Karam's annual salary is $1 million, Stephen Smith's annual salary is $12 million. He signed a $60 million 5-year contract in late 2019 with a personal salary of $8 million a year and a $4 million per year production salary. That is what totals to the $12 million. Molly Karam got married to former NBA player and fellow ESPN host Jalen Rose in 2018, but they divorced in 2021 after being separated for a year. Though he gave no reason for their divorce, there were speculations that Molly cheated. A video went viral with a lady who looked like her getting intimate. Her then husband Jalen Rose did not talk about it, but Molly came out to clear the air, stating that she was not the one in the video. Later, Jalen Rose filed for divorce. In a social media post, he wrote, "We both agree remaining friends and colleagues is the best course of action for our relationship moving forward. Please respect our privacy at this time." At the moment, Molly does not have biological children. She has been suffering from endometriosis, and this may just be one reason for this. Endometriosis is a condition where tissue similar to the
Yeah, okay, so how do you know what her internal conditions are? Unless, I would imagine she must have told somebody that, I guess, because that seems quite personable for a guy to be talking about that online. And unless she offered that information up, and I don't believe his information is quite accurate in terms of that whole situation. I know some other ladies had endometriosis and still had kids and stuff with the proper treatment. So, but I don't know why he even brought that up.
Uterus lining grows outside the uterus. This can lead to strong pelvic pain and make it more difficult for someone to become pregnant. Endometriosis can begin with a person's first period and continue until menopause. Right now, there's no cure for endometriosis. However, there are ways to help with the pain and infertility. When deciding on the best treatment, doctors look at things like your age, how bad your symptoms are, how serious the disease is, and whether you want to have children. At the moment, Molly...
Yeah, I swear. I mean, what the hell is... what the hell is he? I mean, he spent almost 30 minutes talking about her medical condition because he started out saying, well, she don't have no kids. Like, whether she had that condition or not, there's so many women who don't want kids these days. It's incredible. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting because I really just wanted to know how much the chick made and stuff like that. Instead of going into her background, he does this later on, and it's only a little bit left. But he spent and I just, I played it before, but I didn't realize. Now I'm playing it again. I didn't realize how much time he spent on talking about her medical condition and how that might be related to the fact that she doesn't have any kids. It's just crazy. It's absolutely nuts. I'm serious. Wow. I mean, I'm just saying, wow, what the hell are you talking about her medical condition like that for? You know what? because that might not even be the reason at all. She might have never wanted any children, you know. And I know that endometriosis is a painful condition, especially during that time of the month. I understand, you know, so I don't know. You know, so I mean, that's something that's funny. I'm picking it up real time. I heard it the first time, but it really didn't sink in how much time he spent on that damn thing. Anyway, so anyhow, but that Molly is some people don't like Molly, but obviously more people do, and that's why she's still on the show. She lends a certain flavor to the show between crazy ass Stephen A. Smith and whoever else he has on the other side. Especially when the dog is there too, you know. So I mean, more power to her. More power to her. You know, that's good. $1 million a year. I'm surprised she's not making anything more than that. It sounds like she should be. If they could pay Woj $8 million, I have a feeling that Molly's pretty much underrated. She's underpaid. You know, I don't believe in the pay gap in that sense, but how come she ain't making a few million? You know, how come she ain't making a few billion? You know, thank you. It's crazy. Yeah, so 1 million sounds kind of low based on the money that they're giving away. I think that's low. Okay, we're gonna get you a raise, Molly. We're gonna get you a raise so you can buy some more fly suits and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm coming to the end. It's my boxing. They had some fights this weekend. Caleb Plant wins by TKO. Laura wins by TKO. I was surprised how bad Danny Garcia fought. I used to like that guy. I think he should probably call it quits. Alvarez beats the young boy up and wins a decision. And there's a couple of other fights just scheduled, right? Joshua's coming up on the 21st, coming up this weekend. Jake Paul next month, and a lot of other fights coming up. So, you know, boxing is, a lot of people don't realize boxing is alive as well. I mean, the pay-per-view numbers are probably not as high as they project them to be. That's why they don't put them out as readily as they used to. But, you know, I'll watch a fight occasionally, but I won't pay for it. I'll watch it on replay and on YouTube, and you know, but I'm still kind of connected to the boxing game. So anyway, what else do we have? All right, so all the videos that I use, fair use, and well, I'm gonna say fair use anyway, but I still got to edit all those damn commercials out. So anyway, yeah. So you think, first of all, I don't know if Mike Tyson's gonna actually fight. I know it's scheduled. They postponed it once, but I think Mike and Jake are getting publicity just by through the anticipation of the fight. You know, so I hope it happens too. I mean, you know, Mike is a little older, but one of the things that doesn't go that fast is the punch. So, but I don't know how his stamina is going to be over a fight. I think it'll be like 10 rounds, 8 rounds or something like that. And, you know, so we'll see. I know a lot of people want to see Mike Tyson beat up Jake Paul. So we'll see. And then it's like a no-win. I think the money is, all Jake cares about is the money. Because if he beats up Mike Tyson, it's you beat up an old man. You know, you beat up your grandfather. But if he loses, you know, the money, I think the money train pretty much may end. Unless it's a close fight and they try to do a rematch or some kind of crap like that. So we'll see. I'll be watching. I don't know if I'm going to pay-per-view that one either, but I know it will be pay-per-view. And what do we have here? So thank you for stopping by with me, Catalea, you know, so that's cool. I appreciate your support. And my fellas, you know, they all were busy tonight. I thought one or two of them might have showed up, but, you know, they all got tied up, you know. But that's cool. I need more practice anyway, just talking to the screen and stuff like that. So anyway, so that's the end of On a Swivel at the Sports Bar, episode 42 for today. Appreciate you stopping by, you know, and we're going to just keep this going. So it's just, I don't know, next week, another football roundup, another WNBA will be going into the playoffs. That'll be set. You know, baseball's a couple more games toward the end of the season. You know, so it's all, you know, sports is. There's never any shortage of stuff to talk about when it comes to sports. So that's a good thing. You know, so let's go ahead and call it quits and put my little theme song on and just let this play out. So welcome everybody. Anybody who has a comment, put them in the comment block. And I'm gonna just you know, record this and put it out for replay, and you can look at it then. So I'm gonna have to do some editing on this one, especially when I didn't say anything. You can see how that looks. All right, good night. Let's end this show.